Hey everybody, welcome back to A Hero's Rest. This is our finale episode. So those of you who have been watching it as we go, you know that I have been kind of saying that the game's pacing is a bit slow, and I don't know if I can go to all the way to the end. So I'm going to use sort of like, I guess, it's kind of a shitty way to do it, I guess, but it's the way I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to kind of use views on the videos as sort of a justification for saying, you know what, it's a little too slow to continue. That said, I do want to show you the new class, and that's mages. And I wanted to wait until we got one until I started recording this. So if I go to rangers, we still only have one ranger, but I just got Isaias, whatever his name is. His name is going to change anyway. So let's see if I can get to this. This is our new mage right here. So one mage in the whole town, starts at CR 8, okay? And it's a male. So Isaias' name is going to change to, we have Taylor Steele. And that is our last hero. Now, what Taylor's going to need, if we take a look at our classes, we need to make sure that we have all the stuff in place for the classes. So let's go over to the trainer really quick here. We're gonna see if I can click him from a distance. Can I click him? There he is. So mages currently using light armor, magic staffs, headgear, and a cloak. Okay, so we just have to make sure that this person has all these things available to them, right? So let's start with the staff, cloak. Yeah, let's start with the staff. So we're looking at the woodworker, right? And the woodworker's got a bunch of stuff, including war staves. So lots of staves in place here. Also some bows, but he's got a few staves in place here, so should have something to start him out pretty well. We could give shields to the mages as well. It's very possible, and I think it's very possible, unless the trainer doesn't allow me to. The staff might be interpreted as a two-handed weapon. Let me go see, even though a mage wouldn't technically need that, but it does look like I'm not allowed to give him a shield. So it looks like the bow staff is simply, or the mage staff is considered a two-handed weapon, I guess. So, okay. So we can't give him that. But we want to make sure that our buddy Taylor Steele here has everything they need in the shops. So we're going to keep an eye on Taylor and make sure that they, purchase what they need here. Let's go ahead and just get these restocked like this. And we've got a lot of quests on the board right now, like a ton of them. I got 19K, but I've got almost 14K in pending payouts. And all these quests are on the board. The ones with the check marks in this column here, that's to clear these. So we have a lot of these quests on the board to clear these, and I'm just sort of waiting for people to come and do them. I'm hoping to anyway. Galaric died in combat. Poor Galaric. So let's see, where's Taylor? I thought he was going to... Well, Taylor is just going to the inn first, I guess. Maybe he's not seeking a quest. Taylor doesn't seem to be seeking a quest. Aaron Wynn is now up to 46 CR. So he should be doing... we should be doing these highest level quests here at that much CR. So let's put these in order of difficulty real quick. He should be doing these, right? 33 to 52. These are open for him, and should absolutely be taking those with no problems. So to help Taylor in training, some people wanted to see the stage. I do as well, and so we're going to go ahead and do that. There was a comment about this. I thought it was hilarious. I had the mage... I had the target dummy, right? It was facing this direction. It was sitting right here. It's like if your arrows miss... All right, so I've changed it now to be over here. So if your arrows miss, nobody has to worry about it anymore. I'm sitting over here now. But I can go into upgrades, and I should be able to get to this, the invocation stage. And so now I'm going to just flip this around, and we're going to have this stage be... I kind of wanted the spells to be facing that direction, so I guess I'll do it here like this. The invocation stage is a place where the mages can practice their spells. And so this is what we hopefully want to see used before we end this series, because I would like to see this thing used. But it really is, and that's one of the reasons why we're calling it a day on this. It's really not up to me whether or not we see this. It is just something we have to wait for. Just have to wait. Everything is wait. So I will go ahead and say that you guys don't have to wait, and that you guys can just go ahead and skip ahead to the part where we've got Taylor Steele tricked out with all the new outfits and all the new stuff. And I'll be right back when we can actually see somebody. Maybe it's not Taylor. Maybe it might get a new mage. But I want to at least make sure that that we at least get to see that building work before our time together is up on this video or on this series. Real quick look at stock though, because I want you to see what's available for them, right? So you can see our blacksmith has like nothing in stock. So if we're gonna have anybody leave, it's gonna be because they're going to the blacksmith and there's nothing there. So I'm gonna make that stuff first. All right, so I let some time run here, and Taylor Steele's got himself outfitted with our light armor, right? The robes. Got himself a cape, and also got himself a staff. So he's pretty outfitted. He's ready to go. Ready to go to war here, hopefully. And if you take a look at his equipment, he's got the Fool's Mantle of Chance. It's an uncommon. I think that's a tier 2 cape. Should be. Yeah. You can tell by the design. Actually, all 3 of these are tier 2 capes. Then he's got this Robe of Sacrifice. It's a broken one. Unfortunately, I also got a broken war staff, which is weird since I had uncommons available there and a rare available, but maybe he's just cheap. He doesn't have any money yet. He hasn't done any quests. But still, popped his CR up to 14, and I believe, he'll be ready to go for a quest here pretty soon if he can get that up here. Now, if I go back to the list of mages, we actually got another one named Corinna. Already grabbed the Garment of Guarding. So on our way over to, where'd they go? Is it here? Yeah, right here. On their way over to get more equipment, I assume. So there's the light armor, the robes, right? All right, good. And then the Traveler's Camp, I've made some trades already. I've got 132 herbs left, and I mean, I could just sell them, but they're getting really cheap to sell them, and I just, it starts to become painful if you start doing it that way. So we'll come over to our potion maker here, and we'll just craft a whole bunch of potions to make up for it anyway. So we'll go potions. Yeah, so it looks like, potions of luck are where we could just waste away our stuff is on this one. We just waste away all of our herbs using this. So I'll say we do like maybe 11 of these. Let's do 10 of these. That's pretty good. Most of those are normal, so it's fine. Okay, trader's leaving the area now. Fine. All right, so I want to come over here, right? And we're going to try to see if we can't see somebody use these facilities. I would like to see the ranger use this target. And I would also like to see the spells be casted. Mostly because I'm kind of curious on the visual effects that go with that. That's mostly what I'm interested in. Also, Corinna's going down to leatherworking. That's probably for a helmet. I think that's the only thing that the mages use for are helmets. So there are no helmets available. That's a problem. Let's quickly do this. We want to go to helmets. I kind of don't care what it looks like because I need it in stock. So let's just do it. Now, of course, you're going to give me all the ones that have those characteristics, but that's fine. As long as they're in stock, that's what we need for those mages. Medium armor, we could probably do a few of these too, just to kind of keep them in stock. So there we go. All the breaking things. We could do tier 3. If we had iron, I could do some tier 3 medium armor now, which would be cool. And then we can also maybe get some pauldrons. And at this point, I'm not really concerned about what they look like. It'd be nice if they have some high quality stuff there, but I don't really care what they look like as long as they're in stock. And it looks like now Corinna, did you buy a helmet? Yep, yeah, she did right there. So she's got, it's got this little feather in there. And if I'm not mistaken, that's the only person in the entire village that has this characteristic on their helmet. Because I haven't made one with that characteristic yet. So But now it's just a matter of just like waiting and watching them use this. Because again, I want to see them cast spells and stuff to see what they've done here. Let's talk about, while we're waiting, some of the things that I think could improve the game. Because the game itself, I don't think it's bad. And I know that doesn't sound like a good criticism. I don't think it's bad. I think it's a good game. I do. It's a good game for a certain type of gaming experience. So, for example, I would say that there are some really good mobile games out there, for example. And they cater to a really good experience, but I don't know if they would work for a video series, right? There are games that are clicker games where you just sort of sit there and you click a lot of menus and stuff, and they have a certain niche to them and they feel a certain way, but to make them for YouTube, I don't know if it really works, right? Things like Startup Company, I think I would put in that category, right? Now, my series on Startup Company actually did really well, which I'm really surprised by because I didn't actually think it would do that well. But it ultimately ended up doing pretty well. This game is one of those games. This game is one of those games where it's okay, but for a niche audience, a type of person who wants a casual gaming experience that they can just sort of chill with. I think that's what this one really is targeting. And that's unfortunately not quite what I need right now as far as like channel content goes and my own personal interests on what I'd like to have in a gaming experience right now. But I think it's okay for that. This is something where I would probably play it and maybe I was watching Netflix or something, or I'm checking out a show or whatever, like a movie, and I wanted to play something while I was checking that out. This would be something I could play, not really so much in the background, but simultaneously with something else going on. So I think this fits into that category pretty nicely. What would I do to improve it, though? Well, I have a propensity to play at slow speeds. Most of the footage you've seen so far in this playlist has been at technically half speed, which is right now. This speed that's at currently right now, which is to say I hit the one key on my keyboard and it slows things down to this speed. You're supposed to play it at this speed here, and that's 2 on the keyboard, which is just fine. The reason why I play it slow, though, is because of probably the most annoying mechanic in any game I've played so far, and I have over 3,000 videos on this channel, and that is that these guys will leave on a whim when they don't get their way in a shop, and you have no control over that, and there's no notice whatsoever, no chance to correct it. They're gone forever, and you could just basically invest a ton of money and time into these guys, and they'll just leave. It is because of that I play so slow, because if there's something not in stock, I want to know about it well in advance, right? I got to know about it way in advance, and that's the ultimate reason why I do it. Now, this King's Request is never gonna. I'm gonna have 12 days to do it, but I'm not gonna do it. So whatever. The king can request it all he wants. I'm not gonna give it to him. So I think that the number one feature I would say, or the number one change I would make to this game, if it were my control to do so, would be to gut any notion that a hero on their first time going in and not having something in stock that they could leave. That just has to go away. This game, it completely ruins the fun of it because I have to slow it down. You have to play slow. I would love to play at max speed like this. So this is the max game speed, and I would love to play at this maximum game speed all the time. This would be perfect for me. I would love this. Just let the clock run really fast, okay? But if I do this, I would have failed a long time ago because people would have left, and I would not be able to satisfy their needs as fast as I should. So that would be the one thing I need. Like, if anybody comes by right now and wants an offhand sword or an armor, they leave. And that might be this person here, dual wielding machine. That might actually be them. So let's see if we can't get at least a offhand sword in stock, at least one. This is the other thing I would change. The second thing I would change. If your crafter, if your person who's making things has a high skill level, they should be significantly less likely to break on tier 1 stuff. And I've said this before too, but it sucks that you could put so much resources into things and they'll just break. And it doesn't seem like your crafting experience matters at all in terms of the chances to break things. And that's also a little bit more annoying when you get into higher tier things, because this is incredibly expensive to make. But I will give the devs some credit in the sense that even the broken stuff sell for a small profit. So you're not really losing money, at least most of the time. You're not losing money on this stuff when you make it, because there is still profit to be made from having that happen. Here, Remora Sifu couldn't find quests for CR21. Make quests a wider range of CR optimal. Okay, so couldn't find quests. So I like how they've notified me of this, but this reduces their mood, right? This mood. And if it gets down below 40%, they have a chance of leaving. That I hope they change, because 40% is like nothing. So maybe bring it down to 20 or 10, or just make it hit 0 before they leave. Because again, I don't like investing in heroes just to have them leave on a whim. That part, I think, if it were me, those two elements are the biggest things I would change in this game. It would be people leaving because there's nothing in the shop one time, or even twice. Honestly, big deal. I'm gonna retire from being a hero because I can't get a potion. That's just bull. I've had somebody say there's no affordable food in the inn, so I'm not gonna be a hero anymore. It makes zero sense. The second thing would be crafting variability and trying to get it to where people can. Let me just make sure there's a quest for somebody in that range. 26 or something, right? Wasn't it? Here, 24 to 37 here. I think it was the 21. Yeah, I want to say it was a 21. Let's try this one instead. We'll say, go get me some iron. 21s have something now, okay? So those are the two things. Now, some of the things that I would improve or to expand the game going forward, those two things are, I think, the only things that annoy me, to be honest. Those two things, that's it. Because if you remove that ability, or that possibility, I suppose, if you remove people leaving in the shop because there's no food or whatever, and they just stop being hero because of that, then I can play at faster speed. Then the visitors couldn't afford any food at the innkeeper. Then I can play at faster speeds, right? Because then I don't have to worry so much about the huge consequences that come from that. And I can see the notice and I can fix it. But, you know, like, if it's too late and I lose someone who's like 50 CR, my best fighter, and now all of a sudden I'm going to get dinged here because my best fighter, the only one I could do to meet the quest, just left because there wasn't an apple for him to eat, right? Get rid of that and we're good to go. To improve the game, as far as expanding features, I would love to have more to do in town, because that would also speed up the pacing of the game, because I think it's a little too slow. You can speed up the pacing by adding more things to do. Don't make the game entirely about the heroes. I realize that it's a hero's rest, but there should be a lot of stuff that we could do that caters towards visitors to help us in funding things for heroes, because the town, I mean, you're still gonna have to source all your goods from heroes, right? You're still gonna have to source that stuff using quests, and so you're still gonna have heroes as your main priority. But it's just a little silly to me that I can't add more to the town. This is it. I haven't even gotten to the third boss yet, and I've already bought every plot of land, right? And that's ultimately the problem right now, is that if I want to make a new quest right now, this is the boss I'm on. Check this out, right? This is the boss I'm on currently, and I've beaten them no times. It's right here, and I've gotten every single building in the game, all of the training stuff, decorations are great, 25,000. The game's not hard anymore, right? The only risk I have of failure at this point is not having something in stock at the shop, right? So, like, that's it. The game's not hard anymore. Animal Beast is the only one I'm on. I have all of these bosses to go, and there's nothing else to do in town. That's ultimately why this is the last video. There's nothing else for me to do in town. There's nothing new to build. There's no new structures, no new supply chains. There's nothing there. I can't expand my capabilities in town anymore other than adding new classes. And that's it. And I guess that's fine, you know, for that casual game, but I want more to do in town. And I think the restriction on being able to only do one type of building in each plot, and then having the plots be very specific locations, is probably the hindering point of that. All right, I got my season review. And I also noticed that my fame just dropped, like, bad on my season review. No idea why, so we're gonna go ahead and just look at that. I just got an A, but this just dropped like a whole star level just now. Very weird. Not sure what happened just now, and there's no explanation as to why. I just watched it go down. Very weird. Here's 6,800. So we're up to 30,000 bucks, right? And that brings me to that whole element of like, what do I do now in town? What can I build? I mean, I could build the same decorations over and over again in these different buildings, improve their quality, but I mean, okay, so once I get 5-star in every building, then what do I build? There's nothing for me to do in the game, right? Like I just wait for quests and then put them on the board and make sure I keep all the stock in the shelves, right? Because that's the ultimate quest. So going forward, more places to build, right? Maybe that means the maps change. Maybe that means the rules on doubling up buildings in certain plots will change. You know, maybe I could have, you know, 2 different types of businesses in this plot, but if I do that, then I forsake the land that would be needed for me to, say, grow my own resources. Like I wouldn't want to have the tailor and the apothecary. Yeah, that's what it is. That's right, a capitiller. I wouldn't want to have those 2 on the same plot, because then I forsake the land that's available to grow stuff, right? Which brings me to my next thing that we could do as more things to do, and that is allowing me to expand supply of more advanced resources by using inputs. Maybe I combine inputs. Let's say if I want to take herbs, right, these Valerain, right? If I want to take these and bring them in and make them sage, how would I do that? Well, maybe I need 3 herbs plus 2 fruit. I know it doesn't make sense, but let's just go with that as an example. And I get 1 sage for that. Now I have reasons to collect and hoard these things because I can convert them to more advanced resources. And there could be different machines and different types of tools and stuff that I can put on these, which are costing money because they generate product. And I could have these available to me to convert resources. That would be great. Now I don't have to worry so much about heroes getting me the more advanced resources. I realize that is the core of the game, and that will still be the best way to do it because you won't need to sacrifice any of the other resources to do it. So you could make it expensive, but if I have, let's say, for example, 200 food and 300 of these, and I just need 2 of these, well, I have to run a whole quest to do it. Or I could give up a ton of this supply, and potentially at my own peril when I can't make food later, to get some of these more advanced resources, right? And it could be very expensive to do, but it's possible. And you could use different equipment to do that. I think that would be a really great way to balance it out because it has a super high cost. But if it's something I really want, then cool. Some of that stuff doesn't make sense, right? Like bronze, how do you get bronze to iron, right? So those little things that maybe won't make sense, and I understand that. And so maybe that's the ultimate reason why that isn't existing. But there are certain things that definitely will make sense, like raw leather to leather. Like that just absolutely makes sense. Then thick leather, right? And then you have refined leather. I see a lot of instances where maybe raw leather into leather. Okay, maybe you need to use some jute to do that. And then if you're going through here to get to the thick leather, well, maybe we use, you know, some of the jute and then also like 1 bronze. Because you need to, like, I don't know, make like a wiring sort of thing to make it rigid and stiff or something. I don't know. I'm just throwing out ideas, right? There needs to be some sort of chain in which I have the ability to get these more advanced resources without having to sit around and wait. That's the punchline. I have to sit around and wait in order to get anything done. So that's the ultimate. That's my last critique, I think. I don't think there was anything else I was looking at. So we talked a little bit about how I would go out changing the game a little bit, like certain features that bug me, right? But it's not all negative, okay? I'd like to talk about possibilities as well, because I happen to think that early access games are just one of those beautiful phenomenons in the world where possibilities make them even more exciting than finished games. They can be anyway. And this game has that potential. I really think it does. So I wanted to talk about some of the things that, if it were up to me, I would prioritize in implementing going forward. And this, I'm going to ignore things like performance improvements and bugs and things like that because I'm not somebody who's even aware of all of them, right? So yes, sure, performance issues can absolutely kill a game, but I'm not going to talk about those things. They're not that exciting. I want to talk about possibilities. Where could the game go from here that would really improve it? Well, most of my changes that I'd like to talk about are ways to speed up the game. And I'm not talking about speeding up the game like making the time run faster, because like I have a habit, of course, of, you know, making it go at this slower speed just because it is, you know, very important to have everything in stock all the time, and I don't want to get lost out of it, right? I've got 50 heroes now on this, right? It's crazy. And the thing is, even with 50 heroes, it just doesn't feel like it's moving fast in a meaningful way. It doesn't feel like the momentum in the game is meaningful, okay? Like with the boss battles and everything, they're so anticlimactic. It's just another quest. That's all it is. It doesn't feel like a boss battle. It's just a slightly more difficult quest. Yes, you got the shiny border, and that's about it. Okay, so what can we do to change this game, expand the game, right? Not change it, but expand it. Well, I know that some of these are pretty obvious, but I want to talk about the possibilities that they bring, starting with random events. And yes, this is going to be a little bit of a polarizing thing because some players don't like random events. I happen to think that context random events are important. Contextually based random events. Things that happen in the town, maybe outside the player's control. And we'll talk a little bit about some of the things we could put in the game that would expand the world around me and make me feel like I'm part of a larger world, which could take some development time, but maybe not as much as, I don't know, maybe not as much as, again, I'm not a developer, so I have no idea how long it would take, right? So random events. They can cause the player to make decisions, right? Also, I'm just going to zoom in on this while I talk about this. So there's going to be a little bit of a talking video right now. Not a whole lot of movement here, but I do want to keep an eye on this because I really want to see a mage come over here and train. I'd really like to see that. Deal 50k damage with heroes during training. Nice. So we're definitely using the training center, right? I want to see mages train before the end of this video. So I want random events that are contextual, and I want things that are meaningful, and I want things that make me make decisions. Think Frostpunk, where some of the decisions tell a story, and it is really meaningful kinds of decisions, right? I would love that. And some of these decisions, maybe most of them, might require one or even multiple heroes to be occupied or unavailable as a result of these events. And they might go on for a period of time. So I might have to make decisions based on, well, let's see, are we gonna have a big threat, for example, that's gonna come in? If I'm gonna send these 3 heroes, if you will, over there and have a chance of success, whatever, based on their level, I would really like that to have a guaranteed chance of success after a certain amount, because I do not want to send a ton of my heroes out in a big event just for a 90% chance and have it fail. RNG feels terrible when a player seems that they have overwhelming odds to succeed and they still fail. That's a negative experience for most players. So I would like there to be a guaranteed chance of success if I meet a certain set of criteria, right? But if I can send them out into the world, maybe the king's got a request and he needs some extra troops, or he needs something done, and he's requesting 3 of my heroes to go and make that happen, right? I can choose which ones to go, and I can put a quest on the quest board with high priority that these 3 heroes, when they get to the quest board, they will take it, and they will go off and do it, right? And they will be prompted to come and do it. I think that's a fantastic idea. That would add a little bit more dynamics to the game. Maybe I get a dollar reward, right? Or maybe by doing this, I get fame or money, right? Maybe I get resources. Maybe I get the king's graces and we finally don't have to worry about that negative 2,000 thing anymore. Because I think after you've done enough stuff for the king, he should be a lot more lenient on that 2,000 again. It shouldn't be, I've loaned you 2,000 gold like 7 years ago. And I know you've done a lot of stuff for me, but now that you're in debt again, you fail. I don't like that, right? So I think there is an opportunity there for random events to really improve the game. And I would love things like visitors maybe even would be really great. Visitors, I think, are underutilized in this game. I really, truly believe that, and we'll talk about that in the next bullet point. But visitors could bring matters to the player. Visitors could talk, and they have like rumors and stuff, and we've heard about this other thing, and they could spawn these limited time quests. They're opportunities for unique benefits that we don't normally get. For example, maybe there's a quest that will give us, 5 iron and 3 linen, or maybe there's it's like 5 of each resource, but it's a really difficult quest. Things like that could be kind of cool. Maybe it's just money. There's not a whole lot that you can do with this game where you can just make a quest and you get money for it. That doesn't really happen unless it's with an imminent threat. So I kind of feel like that could be something that would be good too. And having visitors bring these up to you creates that replayability and a little more dynamic, that it just makes it to where it's a real organic town and not this authoritarian, we do this because I said so on this quest board thing, right? I don't care for that as much. So I would love visitors to play a bigger role in the game. And going on that note, I would love buildings that I could build, like bigger maps, or just maybe redo the maps so that there's more, maybe smaller plots or bigger plots, I don't know, but like bigger maps, but more plots or more opportunities to incorporate visitors, right? I want buildings that cater specifically to visitors as their primary function. They can grant money and fame, and they can be useful in spawning events and forcing player decisions, because this is a town. Okay, now not every building needs to be directed specifically at heroes. I think the little stations are okay. Like we have these little things like this, right? We've got the wood station that caters to visitors, and they come over and buy it every once in a while, and got the tool thing, which is over here. But these things are boring. Just my input. It's a tiny little thing, and every once in a while I gotta click it and restock it, and that's it, and it pays me. It's so boring. I don't want that, right? What I'd love to have is buildings that cater specifically to visitors, or maybe even allowing a marketplace within my town. Imagine a town square marketplace where I can build it and design different market stalls for different types of vendors and the decorations that add the prestige, and traders and visitors can come from all over the place to buy and sell in my marketplace, and maybe I take a small cut of each one, right? Just a little bit of reoccurring revenue, and also allows me to interact with those individual traders that are coming into my town, and they can have what this trader, this traveling merchant that comes into the town, it can be those people that I can be buying from. They can have a limited amount of stock, right? You could, instead of having infinite herbs, maybe they only have 9 herbs at the moment, and you can buy them. Here's the price, right? And then once they're out of stock, they leave. Or maybe we, exchange things. We sell them some things. We buy some things from them. It just creates more dynamic a presence in the game. And I think that allowing me to design a marketplace that, like this little tree here would have been perfect. A lot right here, a circular lot where I could have added a marketplace stall, and then all these people could have came in from all over the place. And this could be a very busy area. I would love this game to have a more busyness to it. I mean, look at this view. It's kind of dead. There's just not a lot of people here. I would love more people, and I get it that that's more processing intensive, and so optimizations might have to take place to have something like that. But it would really add to the environment that the game provides, and it would make it a lot more fun to play, in my opinion, for sure. So you might think like, okay, what kind of businesses could we have, right? Like, okay, you have the market. Sure, but what kind of businesses could we have that would be catered to only, or like primarily catered to visitors rather than heroes, right? Well, a couple of ideas I had, maybe messengers and mail services, right? Messenger and mail services, these things were huge back in this era. People would pay people to send messages over to somewhere else. They could get on horseback, which, by the way, a transport business, and horses, and having horses available to, get to your heroes. They could also get them, and that would add CR as well, right? Or if they had a horse, or if your hero was able to buy a horse, well, now they can perform the quests at twice as fast as they would normally be able to because they have a good horse, right? That kind of thing would be really cool. So there's a lot of different ideas there, but like these are the ones that are just sort of like thinking out loud with, and that kind of brings me into sort of like the overall grander idea that I kind of have with this, in addition to making this a bit more busier for visitors, right? And we still need the heroes to go get our advanced resources, right? It's not like this is going to turn this into just a basic city builder. You still need to get your heroes going, right? Your heroes are going to be a core component. I think almost all events should attempt to incorporate them in some way, because that is part of the game. Hang on. There's a lot of people here. Holy crap. Are you guys going to have stuff? Barely. They have armors. They're buying pauldrons. I need to make more stuff here. I would love also this interface to be overhauled to where I could see the various different stock, or at least be able to pin how much stock each item is, so that if I'm running low on something, I don't have to like just guess and travel around the map to find it. I can know exactly where it is. That would be really great. And on that note, maybe even giving me a way to prompt the crafting screen without having to directly visit this building, could be an interesting way too. And as the town gets more and more complicated, we could even have an automation mechanic which says, hey vendor, if you run out of, say, helmets and you have supply to do it, I will enable you to automatically make one item. And so like if I happen to have one bronze and I happen to have one leather, this person, this shopkeeper, without me having to do anything, will just do this. And it could be uncommon, it could be rare, it could be whatever, but it has the same exact chances, but it just happens automatically, so I don't have to worry about that. And that gets rid of the upgrade wasn't available for me thing as well, right? So that's one way to solve it as well, because this is a little tedious. I realize this is like the core gameplay, but that core gameplay loop isn't as fun as I think maybe they think it is. It's not that fun to just click these buttons and go, oh look, RNG broke my sword, right? It's exciting when you get like an epic, or every once in a while you can actually craft a legendary, but ultimately it's not as exciting as I think it could be. I'm just saying it out loud. But on the note of visitors and moving through and having other services, right? The grander design, maybe a DLC kind of thing later, even it's maybe a bigger idea, but what about other towns? I mean, think about it, right? If we can get ourselves involved in sort of a grander economy for things, and there's other towns, not just ours, the whole village, there's only one town that can do things. Okay. No, like there's lots of different towns, and these guys are traveling for all these different places, right? What if we had visitors from other towns coming to us, and we sort of had, in a way, kind of a competition with other towns. In a way, you could have sort of a more grander economy in that sense, right? I mean, other villages. Give me a global map where I can set up trade with other towns and use those aforementioned features and buildings and functions or whatever to engage in those towns. Maybe heroes move between towns. So maybe if they don't have an upgrade here, they leave my town. You know, they go to another town because they still want to be a hero. They just, there's nothing in my town. So they go to another town and they're doing quests over there now. And maybe if there's no items over there, then maybe they come back later. Maybe they've leveled up and they come back later and I get to see them again. It's possible. I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud here because I don't like the fact that I lose them. I'm just attached to them, in a way. So there's that. Heroes may move between towns, and that could be also another idea that goes with like the boss battles too, where you could have something where the boss is attacking another town and you could send your heroes over to that town to help them. And so those heroes could go help them. This would add to your fame, right? So the fame would go up a lot slower because there's a lot of other elements that would drive it up. So in order to have the fame be the same pace, you would just have to fulfill more tasks to get there, right? That kind of thing. But then there's a lot more to do for the player to do. That's what I'm saying. You give the player more to do. And yeah, so I like that. Independent vendor market, allowing traveling merchants to go between shops and stuff. They have limited quantities of goods, and maybe our vendors have like a whole bunch of food, but we don't have a whole lot of metal, and the other town has a bunch of that. And so, maybe we can open up a trade with other places, and we can have some of our quests just be trade. Like maybe one of my quests on the board is, hey, take 10 metal, which actually removes it from my town, right? And take it over there and then bring back as part of this trade, 12 leather or whatever, right? So like if I have a ton of herbs like I do right now, and I don't have a ton of, bronze, then let's say I trade that other town 10 herbs for 8 bronze or something, right? I don't know what it is, whatever's balanced, but you could have a quest on the board to just transport something. It's a very easy thing, could be a low CR kind of quest. It's more dynamic, and I get benefits from it directly, and it feels like I'm part of a bigger picture, right? I don't know, like there's possibilities with this game is all I'm saying that could be better. I think things could get there, and it's an early access title, which gives us, I think it gives me a lot of hope here. So there's gather, slay, trade. Done. Real easy, right? Or it could be transport instead of trade. That way you open up the possibilities to just send things to places, or to go and retrieve something and bring it back from another place, right? You have all sorts of different types of things that could happen, right? I think that the possibilities are there, and I'm loving what I see so far, but because it's an early access title, you got to know, right, that there is room for more, and that's what all I'm talking about here. So I think I've maybe exhausted my time here in my monologue a little bit here. I think the video is getting a little bit long. I do still want to see mages use this system. They can't find potions to buy at the apothecary. That's right, a capitiller. Let's go ahead and get them crafted of potions really quick here, because I've clearly been monologuing too long. Let's give you like 9 of them. There we go, yeah. So now you got them, that's good. You also got the ones with fish. I like the fish. Let's do something like that. There you go. And then maybe we'll give you like a few of these too. So you can buy these ones if you like to as well. Better condition from quest. And then maybe you even up your challenge rating. No, there's no possibility to do that. So nope, not enough fish for that. Just use more of the herbs. That works for me. So got that out of here, right? And then we just go ahead and restock these, right? I'm okay with this restocking mechanic, but I know, again, it just provides things for the player to do. So like as you add more things to the game, that would be the opportunity to start automating some of these other clicker game type functions, like, you need to replant your herbs kind of things. As you add more for the player to do and manage throughout the game in a more macro sort of management as opposed to a micro management like it is now, that opens up possibilities to automate things like that, right? So I like the prospects of the game evolving from we're a tiny little town and I have to tell every single person what to do all the time, to okay, we have a thriving community here, and let's start looking at things from a more broad view and really just looking at things on a macro scale. Now, maybe that's not like what the devs' vision has, right? Maybe they're not looking for that type of flavor of game, and that's completely fine, because I have absolutely all the respect in the world for people who create their own games, right? It's going to be their vision. No matter what they do, it's going to be their vision. So whatever they have planned for the future, that's where it's going to be, right? All I can do is just throw out ideas off the top of my head and say, hey, this would be really cool. But if it's like, yeah, it'd be cool, it's just like 5 months of work, okay, well, maybe it's not as cool as I thought it is, right? So there is that to think about as well. But I don't know, what do you guys think the game could use? Let me know in the comments down below. I do think, though, that as the current game is, or the way the current game is, I just don't think it's going to work for content anymore. It is definitely one of those games that I would just chill to, for sure. It's a nice chill game. And I think for what it is, it does it okay. I mean, I don't think there's not a whole lot of things wrong with it other than what I talked about before with the whole like people leaving thing. But I do enjoy the game. I think it's an enjoyable game for what it is. And I can't make any more content on it right now, but I am definitely going to keep my eye on this and see what kinds of changes the devs look to do in the future, because I am, like I said, I'm actually pretty excited about the possibilities that could come from this. Also, it doesn't look like we're going to get this imminent threat done in time. I did want to point that out before I stop too. It looks like there's 0 days remaining. We still have 2 out of 5 to do here, and I'm trying to figure out how in the world that happened. So I'm looking at adventurers right now, and we are going to beat this, right? It's going to happen. He's there, but it looks like it's going to be too late. It just takes forever for these quests to happen. And it's just same thing here. Chaos is already on it too. These are both in progress right now to beat this with 0 days left. And I think they actually have to turn it in that 0 day, not defeat it in a 0 day. If I go over to this list and go to returning, we have Zell, which is returning. She's already beaten it. She's on her way back. So I don't get credit for this after they've already beaten the boss. They have to get back here in time and turn it in. That sucks. Because if this thing, like Ridvan's also on his way back, that's 2 more beats right there, right? So I got 4 boss right here in progress, and I only need 2 of them to be successful, right? But they have to get back to the inn to avoid this. That sucks. Like, why am I getting hit for this if they're already defeated, right? So, like, I've already done those 2, but I'm probably going to lose a ton of money here because this imminent threat didn't get done in time. Avert the imminent attack. Like, if you've already beaten it and you just haven't turned it in yet, then the imminent attack shouldn't happen because it's literally not there to attack me. But, I mean, that's just not how the game works. So, I'm probably going to get hit with this. But let's go. I'm going to go over here now and just look for the mage. Look for the mage to train. Come on, mages. Oh, are you? No, you're a dual-wielding machine. Aaron is here. 51 CR on Aaron. And he's still not done training. He's like, you know what, man? 51 sounds like a good deal. But you know what could be better? 52. 53. Yeah. Location lost. Yeah. So Nilfear died. That's fine. I mean, it's not fine, but whatever. He died. And then heroes accumulated resources here. Again, they were on their way back to turn in this quest. But because they didn't get here in time, I lost 14 herbs, 3,400 gold, and my heroes fought bravely and scored and secured 1,200. I don't know how I got that, but it was pushed out of their territory, despite the fact that the boss was defeated 5 times. That part annoys me too. Like, why does it have to be turned in? The boss was absolutely defeated, but it is what it is. Trader's here too. So let me watch this and I'll, come on, mages, come on. I'll be right back. I want to point out another potential problem here too. And that is that currently, because of Aaron being 51, I don't have a quest that he can take. I'm just incapable right now of providing a quest for Aaron. So there is a chance that he will, leave because there are no quests and he'll get irritated. And like, I would love to provide him with something. I just simply can't provide him with anything. Even if I go to Expedition, there's just no way to get this to 51. I can't do that without that boss quest existing. So because that didn't get turned in, I might now lose my best hero simply because of the hero couldn't find a quest mechanic that exists in this. There's just no way to make this difficult enough. Now, it's possible, with a potion he could reduce his CR and whatever. Maybe that's a thing, but I doubt he's going to just do that, right? So I would love the ability also to go after any of these. I mean, like, I don't see why I need to work my way up. If I have somebody that can do it, let's go ahead and do it. And that's a general progression thing that they probably put in for balancing purposes. But I mean, at this point, yeah, there's nothing I can do. Even going to slay bandits in the swamp, the highest I can get this thing is 41. And so when Aaron gets here, he's not gonna be able to do the quest, right? And it's just not gonna happen. So like, I'll put something in there. I guess we'll do, gather expedition. This is the most difficult I can make the quest. Is right here, 30 to 46. I can't do anything else with this. So that'll just be the way it is. So we'll go all the way up to overt, I guess. And I'll add, like, I'll add this quest to it. Maybe Aaron will take that one, I guess. We can go metal, do that. And what I need is for them to have knowledge of the animal beast. Since we've been kicked out of the den, we have to work our way back up there to get there. And so that's the next thing on my quest list now. Damn. So yeah, if Aaron goes to look for a quest, he's gonna leave. And if I go and take a look at retired heroes, who just left? Okay, Nilfear died in combat, but is Aaron on his way to get a quest right now? Let's see. If we go like this, We can see Aaron Wen is leaving, going to find a quest at 51 CR, and I am incapable of providing that. I cannot put a 51 CR on the board. At least not as long as that quest is not here. So you can potentially, if you don't get the boss quest because you weren't able to turn it in time, which you have no control over, right? Because your heroes are just going to take forever to come back anyway. You know, I put those on the board the moment that quest popped up, and I have 5 individual people that are capable of doing it, and they were doing it. I just couldn't do it in time. That's annoying. So we might lose Aaron Wen here, which would be a real drag since that's my best hero. I just simply don't have the ability to give him a quest that's that's difficult enough. So if I take a look at his, Taylor couldn't find quests for CR. What? Taylor for 14? That was like a 1+ kind of thing. Make quests for a wider range of optimal CR available. 14? For real? Oh, all the ones that they just got taken. They all got taken before you got there. That's not my fault. I guess it kind of is. But okay, so 14, fine. Scavenging and mining, go get me some of this stuff. That's 18 to 27, so that's not gonna matter for you. Woods, gross. We have to do this stuff. Fine, here, look. That's wood. That's good for 14. Go get it. Yeah, Zell's back in town. Took you long enough. The paladin limping his way back in. Yep. And then here's Aaron Wen. So let's see what happens when he can't find a quest, or she, when she can't find a quest that is good enough at 51 CR range. How much does the mood drop? 95 is going to drop here in a second. There's nothing I could do. Yeah, look at that, man. Down that much. Oh, it's so overpowered. So basically, if I can't get this boss unlocked before Aaron Wen decides to look for another quest, I just lose my best hero, right? Yeah, that needs work. It needs work. I think losing the location to the boss is actually quite silly. You know, maybe you're kicked out of it. I guess that's how that works. But come on, like, you know where it is. Everybody knows where it is. I do wish that this right here, I wish that if you had a quest pending already that was completed, not pending, so like not on adventure, but on returning. If they were on the returning stage to complete this, I would hope that would not trigger and that you would be allowed to complete it, because if you have already defeated it, yeah, I've said my piece on that. You guys get it. All right, I'm gonna let this run until I can see this. Okay, it appears to be happening. I've been following the mages in town, and this is Aiken. He's CR 21. Ooh, it's gonna be nighttime too. This is perfect. All right, let's get in. Let's get in right here. Let's go camera mode. Okay, and then we'll go into photo mode. Oh, what's he doing? He's not. Oh, okay. It's a ranged thing. Okay. He's using the target dummy. So he's not using this, though? All right. Oh, look at that. Ah, lightning from his... Yes, lightning from the bow staff. Yes. I want lightning. Ah. Okay, he's got like the helmet up here, too. It's a little, like, I wish he would wear the hat, but okay. But he didn't use the stage. I want him to use the stage. Oh, come on. Well, I mean, whatever. Maybe it's, I don't know. Hold on. Let's exit photo mode here real quick. What's the description on this thing? I thought for sure this would be it. So, hold on. Long range dummy can be placed for heroes to practice range combat, okay? And then invocation stage is used by skilled spellcasters at the training grounds. This is the safest way to practicing magical arts. Generates royal tokens. So I get they can use the range dummy and not just the stage, I guess. Okay, and it's oriented correctly. You see the red arrow is pointing, so I feel like unless the red arrow is, I assume that's where they will be standing, right? Where the hero stands when they go to use it. At least I thought it was, because if I look at the range dummy, right, the arrow is pointing there. So yeah, that would be forward. So they should be getting right in here and using it. But oh well, okay, maybe it's hey, at least we got to see magic happen. I just like magic. Okay, everything is just, every game is better if you incorporate magic. Okay, every single one. Right, that's not entirely true, but maybe a little bit biased there. But let's get like a whole bunch of these luck potions. There we go. And then if I have any more fish left, I do. No, I don't. I don't have any fish left. I have food. I guess I could use some food. Get some XP gain from quests. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to be sitting around long enough for it to happen here. Rian has decided there's no upgrades for him at the shop, so he's going to leave. Great. I can't wait for Aaron to leave when there's no quests available, because I still can't do the wolves either. But you know what? That's fine. It's fine. It's fine. We're going to let you go here. I finally got a chance to see the magic actually happen in the training grounds. That's great. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I really do appreciate you. I know this wasn't the most popular series on the channel by far, and is another reason why we're kind of cutting it short here. But I think you can agree that there's not really a whole lot visually for me to show you anymore with this game. There's just not a lot to do. Yeah, I mean, I don't have every single upgrade and every single building, but it doesn't matter. It's not that meaningful, and I kind of wish it was. So I'm gonna be following the game. We're gonna see if they make any changes in the future, and this might be something I dink around with, you know, while I'm like just casually watching a show or something. So thank you so much, guys. I really do appreciate you. I hope you'll check out some of the other series that's going on the channel as well. Take it easy. Bye bye.